Hi, welcome back to Nightly Haven in the Light. I'm your host, Nikki, and today we're going to talk about something that may surprise people. Does God have a sense of humor? Because somewhere along the way, we started picturing him as a stern, distant, and unamused. But Scripture paints a much bigger, richer, and more relational picture. If we are made in his image, according to books of Genesis 1:27, then parts of us that create joy, irony, creativity, and laughter didn't come from nowhere. They reflect him. So today we're going deep. Is humor biblical? Does God laugh? Is there irony in Scripture? And what does this say about his personality? Let's begin where everything begins. Then God created man in his own image. This is foundational. We're not accidents, we're reflections. Now, being made in God's image doesn't mean he has a physical body like ours. It means we share the same attributes: creativity, reasoning, love, relationality, emotion, joy, and yes, the ability to laugh. We didn't invent humor. It came from somewhere. And if joy is a fruit of the Spirit, Galatians 5:22, then joy is not accidental to God's nature. Joy is essential. And humor is often an overflow of joy. Let's look at the scripture. In Psalms 2:4, he who sits in the heavens laugh. This isn't light comedy laughter. This is divine irony. God laughs at the nations who think they can overthrow him. That's not nervous laughter. That's sovereign confidence. It's almost cosmic irony, human rulers plotting against the creator of the universe. That's humor in its highest form. Not cruelty, but perspective. In Psalms 37:13, but the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he sees that his day is coming. Again, not petty laughter. It's the laughter of someone who sees the whole timeline. It's the laughter of inevitability. There's something deeply ironic about humans trying to outsmart omniscience. And God uses irony constantly. Sarah laughs, Genesis 18. When God tells Abraham and Sarah they'll have a son in old age, Sarah laughs. And what do they name the child? Isaac. Isaac means he laughs. God literally turned her disbelief into a lifelong reminder of fulfilled promise. Every time she calls her son's name, she was saying laughter. That is layered humor. That's poetic irony. Let's pause here. A prophet is so spiritually blind that his donkey sees the angel before he does. Then the donkey talks, and Balaam argues with it. There is divine irony here. The seer cannot see, but the animal has more discernment. Scripture doesn't present this as a slapstick, but it absolutely carries irony. This is one of the most clearest moments of biblical sarcasm. The prophet Elijah mocks the prophets of Baal. Maybe your God is sleeping. Maybe he's on a journey. Maybe he's relieving himself. That's biblical. That's sanctified sarcasm, and it exposes false worship. God allows humor to dismantle pride. Now let's talk about Jesus, because some imagine him as perpetually solemn, but children ran towards him, crowds followed him, sinners felt comfortable around him. That doesn't happen with someone who radiates cold intensity. Look at his teaching style. From the Gospel of Matthew, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. That's extreme imagery. It's memorable. It's shocking. It borders on absurd exaggeration, intentionally. Or this one, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. Picture that visually. That's humorous exaggeration designed to teach. Now imagine someone trying to remove a speck from someone's eye while having a plank sticking out of their own eye. That image, it's almost cartoonish. Jesus used vivid, exaggerated imagery because it sticks. That's brilliant communication. Humor often serves truth. Now let's talk about animals. Look at creation. Have you seen the platypus, otters, goats that faint, peacocks, narwhals? The creator who designed galaxies also designed creatures that bounce, wobble, squawk, and look delightfully strange. That's not sterile engineering, that's creative joy. Job 38-41 shows God describing creation with almost poetic pride. He talks about the mountain goats giving birth. He describes leviathans with theatrical grandeur. There is delight in his tone. Creation itself carries whimsy. Here's something important. Humor requires perspective. You can't laugh at yourself if you're ruled by pride. The ability to find irony in your own story reflects security. And scripture constantly humbles humanity in ironic ways. The youngest son becomes king, David. The stutterer leads Israel, Moses. The persecutor becomes the apostle, Paul, or as he was known, Saul, before he became Paul. There is divine reversal throughout scripture. God flips expectations, and sometimes that flip carries a kind of holy irony. Nehemiah 8:10, and I know I probably just said that completely wrong, but the joy of the Lord is your strength. Joy is strength, and joy expresses itself in laughter. Ecclesiastes 3:4, there is a time to weep and a time to laugh. Laughter is not sinful, it's seasonal. It is human, it's permitted, because it reflects design. Now let's balance this. God is holy, he is just. He is not a cosmic comedian. Humor is never used in scripture to belittle the weak. It exposes pride to dismantle idols. It reveals blindness. There is a difference between sacred humor and mockery. The enemy mocks. God uses irony with purpose. Think about your own life. How often has God closed a door you begged him to open, redirected you in a way you didn't expect, answered a prayer in the most upside down way possible? Years later, you look back and think, okay, Lord, I see what you did there. Not cruel, but unexpected. There is sometimes gentle irony in providence. If God has joy, if he laughs, if he uses irony, then he is relational, not robotic, not emotionally flat. And if we are made in his image, then your laughter, it's not trivial. It's a part of divine reflection. Your ability to create humor, to enjoy absurdity, to see irony, comes from him. And maybe you were taught God is constantly disappointed. Maybe you pictured him stern and irritated. But scripture showed a God who rejoices, sings over his people in Zephaniah 3:17, laughs at rebellion, uses irony to teach, delights in his creation. He is holy, he is sovereign, and he is just. But he is also joyful, and you bear his image. So the next time you laugh at something unexpectedly ironic, remember, that spark of joy reflects the one who made you. Have a good day, guys.